This is your 5 tech things you should know about, brought to you by Mosey.com. And guess what? You don't have to go to a grocery store anymore. You can shop right from the subway. Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here. Welcome to the 5 tech things you should know about for all you weekend warriors in tech that don't want too much information overload. Let's get into your Facebook, Google, your Subway shopping 5 tech things you should know about for this week. All right, we've been talking about Amazon for the last few weeks. The week before we talked about their affiliate problems. The week before that we talked about cloud drives, and we're back on the cloud drive, which is pretty darn cool. If you haven't checked out the cloud drive yet, they give you 5 gigabytes for free. However, they announced on Wednesday that if you get a plan, the lowest end plan, like 20 gigabytes, they're going to give you unlimited cloud drive. Of course, they're doing this to compete with Apple and Google, because they're going to be coming out with their cloud systems very, very soon. It's actually a pretty cool plan there. You get people to get onto Amazon, then they buy music from Amazon, and then you can store all that stuff up there for free, and you don't have to worry about it. You just pay that yearly fee, and you're all good to go. Now, we'll see what happens once Apple comes out with iCloud, and once Google comes out with their full structure of what they're going to do with clouds. You know, they're too busy with social networks right now. But we're pretty interested to see what's going to happen on here. So for $20, you can have a place to put all your music. Maybe even your movies, maybe even your pictures and stuff like that. Pretty cool times that we're in. Have you ever wanted to just kind of get in your car and start driving and then realize, hey, I need to fly somewhere, and spread out your wings and boo, there you go? Well, now you might be able to. Check this out. It's called the Transition, and it's a car that flips and turns into a plane, a little small engine plane. Probably will get you to probably the northern part of the state or the southern part of the state, but nothing past that. The Transition is created by a group of guys in the Boston area. Now, it's going to cost you $194,000, so you might not want to run out just yet and get it. There's also a whole bunch of other issues, like, FCC wants to know a little bit more about this plan. It's not ready for regular approval. But the biggest problem is maintenance. You have your car, and a lot of us lack on our maintenance, but the reality is you can't lack on the maintenance while you have that vehicle up in the air. It can't stall. So they're going to have probably some really tight regulations if you get one of these vehicles. But then you'll be the coolest person on the block saying, hey, I just want to fly. Put your arms around me, baby. Put your arms around me, baby. Big news coming out of California yesterday. Mark Zuckerberg gets up on stage and talks about Facebook and video calling, video chat through Skype, whatever you want to call it. Basically, it's Microsoft's, when Microsoft bought Skype, then Facebook said, hey, you got Skype, let's do something with it. And Microsoft said, okay, so Facebook, now you can do video calling, which is pretty cool. Video chat features, they've increased all their video chat, or their regular chat features, but the video calling is the big thing that everybody's been talking about for the last 24 hours. It's in response, and a lot of people are saying it's in haste because Google came out with Google Plus, and Google Plus has this thing called Hangouts, and you can start a Hangout and you can have 4, 5, 6, 7,000, no, not 7, unless you're Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ has 7 million people on his Hangout. If you're part of Google Plus, you know exactly what I'm talking about, but it's actually pretty cool. Now, instead of going back and forth and saying, hey, what are you doing? I'm not doing anything. What are you doing? I'm not doing anything. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. You could actually start a video call and go face-to-face with them with your webcam or with a more professional camera system. I was on a few of them last night, and they were noticing my setups and going, wow, we got some professionals in here for a little bit. Also on Google Hangout. Now, the difference between Google Hangout and Google Skype for Google for Facebook, I know a lot of you are not in Google Plus just yet because you didn't get your invite. They keep opening up the invites and then closing them and then opening them up. It's like, here, have some invites. Nope, got to take it back. Here, have an invite. Nope, got to take it back now. A lot of people saying that Hangout is a lot better than Facebook's Skype video calling. But you got to remember, it's all in its infancy. Google Plus doesn't have the traffic that we're expecting to have on Google Plus in about 6 months. You got about 500,000 to 1 million people on Google Plus, and about 10% go on Hangout at one given time. Imagine what happens when you put 750 million people onto the network. That's going to be a lot of Google Hangouts. It's going to be a lot of moderation back and forth. We're already seeing some people coming in and going, hey, that's a really nice dress you got there. You got a really, really nice dress there. And so we've got to weed them out. You got to block them and you got to report them. But it's still gonna grow, and there's gonna be more people, and it's gonna go back and forth. But the real question is, when you get 10 people on at a time and you've got millions of Hangouts happening, what will be the lag time for the conversation back and forth? What will be any type of bandwidth issues? I mean, we're not talking just your modem, but the internet service provider that you're on going back and forth and up and down. So the question is, do you like the idea of Facebook and their Skype option where it's a one-on-one calling system, or do you like the Hangout feature a lot more? Let me know. Twitter me at Geekazine. If you've tried them both, if you've only tried one, that's okay. Twitter me on Geekazine or email me at geekazine@gmail.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's the 5 things that I learned this week, and it's brought to you by Stitcher. Go over to stitcher.com/geek, put in your email address, and download the mobile application for all your podcast needs, including the 5 tech things. The audio version, we have a video and an audio version. You could win yourself $100. So put in your email address, download that application, and good luck over at stitcher.com/geek. Number 5, they found hydrogen peroxide in space. Astronomers using the Apex telescope monitored the Rio Ophiuchi star. Hopefully I pronounced that right. It's a star formation region, and it's about 400 light years from Earth. The result, they found it's not a natural blonde. Number 4, yeah, they're roasting Charlie Sheen. Yeah, it's the same day the 2.5 Men debut. Hello, winning. Number 3, Versace shut down their posting on Facebook after activists covered the wall with messages protesting Italian fashion houses' use of what's called sandblasting. It's a technique for giving denim a worn look. Now, dozens of messages linking to the campaign appeared after a petition to stop Versace's killer jeans. Attack of the Killer Jeans? That sounds like a horror movie. I love it. Maybe there's zombies in it. Number 2, Dunder Mifflin found out the new boss is going to be Robert California, played by James Spader. And no, it's not going to be that boss. It's going to be the CEO. He's replacing Kathy Bates. So they still are looking for the head of Dunder Mifflin office. Now, you remember James Spader. He was the guy on Boston Legal, right? You know, with William Shatner and Candice Bergen. Really? Come on, folks. It's only been a couple of years. And number 1, there was this guy named James Vernon McVeigh. He was a South Dakota man who was on trail to kill people and steal their cars so he could get to Washington, D.C. to kill the president. But then he heard on Fox News Twitter that Obama was killed in Iowa, so he intentionally got himself arrested. That's when he found out that Twitter profile was hacked. Wait, what? Oh, it didn't happen that way? Oh, okay. Well, it was still hacked, right? Yeah, Twitter profile was still hacked. So. We got that guy out of the way. So that's pretty cool. And those are the 5 things that I learned this week. Imagine wearing socks for weeks at a time. Imagine coming up to a bum and saying, "Gosh, you don't smell so bad anymore." Well, you know, it's a very possible nowadays because they now have a new antimicrobial treatment that can be put on clothing so it can repel anything like stains, germs, anything like that. Now, we saw something at CES which was pretty cool where they coated this paper towel with this chemical and they could run water on it and it just repelled right off. The same idea goes here. It protects the material by putting a coating on it, and it basically repels anything that's bad. E. coli can be repelled from this clothing. Any type of microbacterial organisms could be repelled. So this would be perfect for anybody in the medical field. A pair of scrubs would then get coated with this material, and you could be wearing scrubs and you could go from patient to patient without having to worry about if your clothing is going to infect them, which is pretty cool there. we're a little ways down from actually having all of our regular clothing like this, but you know, this would be a really cool step in the right direction. And I can't wait to see what happens when I walk down the street and I see a bum who's just nice and clean and doesn't smell like urine. All right, you know, using that code GEEK gets you 15% off. Why haven't you done it now? I had a friend that just lost everything on his computer, gave it to me. I couldn't get into it. He couldn't remember his passwords. So I pulled the hard drive out of his computer and I backed up his files as much as I could because there was a lot of hard drive corruption and a lot of bad sectors. We replaced the hard drive, but if he would have backed up with Mozy, he would have kept all that stuff and wouldn't have had to worry about it. You need to back up now, back up often, back up off-site with Mozy.com. $5.99 a month per computer. That's the price that starts and saves you from fire, from theft, from hard drive failure. You don't want that. So go over to Mozy.com. Don't forget that code GEEK at checkout because it gets you an additional 15% off to back up now with Mozy.com. All right, finally, how would you like to shop but not be online on your computer, but be in like a place like the Subway? This is pretty cool. Check it out. This is from a company called Tesco, and they do home grocery shopping options. And what they did was they wallpapered a Subway with a bunch of QR codes. And those QR codes, basically people would walk up and they say, hey, I need a gallon of milk. Hey, I need some hamburger for tonight. They scan in the QR codes through their smartphone, and then they have the stuff delivered to them. So while they're waiting for the Subway, they can do all their shopping, get it done. And when they get home, all those groceries could be waiting for them. It might be one of the new ages of shopping. So this is actually pretty cool. I can't wait to see how this comes out and how we put it into everyday systems. You could go down the street and see a kiosk and you could say, oh yeah, I need to get myself a 12-pack of soda. Poof, there I've got it. It's coming on the way to the house. QR codes are a great way to do that. And of course, you have to download some software to get QR codes onto your smartphone. However, I have a feeling the QR codes will probably be replaced by something a little bit more intuitive. RF chips, I don't know about that. There's going to be some technology that's going to make it a lot more easier. All you'll have to do is press a couple buttons, swipe something and say, hey, I'm at this location, I'm looking at this kiosk, and there it is. Because you never know when somebody could take a QR code and actually paste a different QR code on top of it, and instead of you buying a gallon of milk, you're going to Geekazine.com. It's very, very possible. In the meantime, check it out if you're in certain subways and you start seeing this come up. It'd be pretty cool to actually see how it works. So if you've tried it, let me know. Twitter me at Geekazine or geekazine@gmail.com. And of course, that's the 5 tech things that you should know about. My name is Jeffrey Powers. You can always Twitter me at Geekazine. You can always get me at Geekazine.com. Go up to the contact form and say, hey, I'm here. How you doing? How's it going out there in Madison, Wisconsin? We do this every single Thursday, so we will be right back here every Thursday. And remember to check out the brand new reboot show of Geekazine, now called Geek Smack, over at thegeeksmack.com. Of course, you can go to Geekazine.com to get all that stuff there. Got a question or comment? You can also call me at 608-205-4378. And you can always get me on Google+, always get me on Facebook, always get me on Twitter. So, got ways to contact me. Check out the Kickstarter program over on Geekazine.com as we're raising money for the special media feed so I can get out to some of these conferences to get more interviews just for you guys. Until next week, this is Jeffrey Powers with the 5 tech things you should know about. We will see you next time. Take care. Or unlimited storage, because Apple and Google need to compete with those types of